how about we settle in for a story? Let's get nice and comfortable and start a little journey with the tiny leaf who learned a very, very big lesson about courage, about change, and about finding out what you're truly here for.
Okay, so picture this with me. Our story begins in a really beautiful place. There's this huge, wise old maple tree, and its branches reach out just like welcoming arms. It stands right in the middle of a sunny orchard. And this tree, well, its name is Ancient Heart. And it really is the heart of the whole valley.
And living right here, way up high on one of Ancient Heart's branches, is our hero, a cheerful little leaf who was pretty sure his world was just perfect.
His name is Pip. He's this bright, vibrant green maple leaf, and he just loves his life. I mean, every single day is a new adventure, you know? Waving at birds, catching sparkly morning dew, and just soaking up all that warm sunshine. To Pip, summer was everything, and he figured his only job was to stay green, be strong, and hold on as tight as he could. Simple as that.
But, as we all know, things don't stay the same forever, do they? And as the summer started to get sleepy, Pip's perfect green little world began to feel, well, a little bit scary.
All around him, something incredible was happening. His friends, his neighbors, on the tree, they were all turning into the most amazing colors you've ever seen. But you know what? Pip didn't see the beauty in it. To him, this change just felt wrong. It felt really, really worrying.
Now there was an older leaf, a beautiful scarlet red one named Old Ember, who had seen this happen many, many times. He tried to explain it to Pip. He said, "This is the great release." He told him it wasn't something to be afraid of, that it wasn't an end, but actually the start of a whole new adventure.
And right here, you can see two totally different ways of looking at the exact same thing. For Pip, it's just terrifying. He's thinking, if I let go, it's all over. It's dangerous out there. But for Old Ember, it's all about trust. It's about being part of something bigger, a way of giving back to the tree that gave them life. Pip just couldn't see it Old Ember's way. Not at all. He tightened his little stem on the branch and just watched, horrified, as all his friends let go, one after another, dancing and twirling down on the wind. To him, it looked less like a dance and more like a disaster. And before he knew it, he was all alone. So, as the crisp autumn air turned into a chilly winter frost, Pip just kept holding on with all his might. But his lonely little stand was about to be interrupted by a big, big storm and a tiny, unexpected friend.
The autumn wind came whistling through the branches, kind of like it was playing a song. It whispered to Pip, tugging at him gently, trying to get him to join the fun. But Pip just wouldn't have it. He yelled back, "No, I'm a summer leaf, and I am staying right here."
The days got shorter, and the world got colder, and so much quieter. The branches were all bare now, covered in frost. And then, one very cold morning, a tiny little sparrow, shivering and looking so tired, landed on the branch right beside Pip, tucking itself in close to get out of the biting wind.
And this is where the story takes a really interesting turn. See, Pip thought his stubbornness was just about him being scared, but the little sparrow explained that by holding on so tight, Pip had accidentally created a tiny, safe shelter, a little spot on the branch that wasn't covered in ice. Without even trying, he had helped someone.
That very same night, those whispers from the wind, they turned into a roar. A huge winter storm came crashing into the valley, just howling and screaming, and it pulled and pushed at Pip with this incredible strength. And Pip could feel his stem, which used to be so strong, starting to feel weak.
And this really gets to the heart of Pip's story, doesn't it? He'd spent his whole life believing that being strong meant holding on, refusing to ever give up. But now, as he was sheltering this little bird, he started to wonder, what if real strength was something else completely?
So, faced with that furious storm, but feeling the warmth from his tiny friend, Pip finally understood. And he was about to make the bravest choice of his entire life.
He looked over at the sleeping sparrow, and he thought about Old Ember's wise words, and he realized his job as a summer leaf was done. It was time for his next job. So he took a deep breath, and he just let go. Not because he was scared, but with this amazing feeling of trust.
And what happened next? Oh, it was pure magic. He didn't just fall, he flew. The storm wind, the one he'd been fighting for so long, it lifted him up and suddenly he was part of it, joining this wild, wonderful dance under the moonlight. After all that time being so scared and stiff, he finally felt free.
Ever so gently, he floated down and landed on the soft ground, right at the base of his home, the ancient heart tree. And as a soft blanket of snow began to cover him, he could feel his last bits of energy going back into the tree's big, strong roots, getting them ready for all the new leaves that would come in the spring. His journey was now complete.
Pip's journey is such a beautiful story, but it's also a really powerful lesson for all of us about life and growing up. So, what can we learn from our little friend Pip?
Well, first, it reminds us that change is just a natural part of life. And it can be beautiful. Fighting it can make us feel stuck, but when we embrace it, amazing things can happen. Second, we have to learn to trust the journey, even when we're not sure where it's going. And finally, Pip showed us that real strength isn't always about holding on tighter. Sometimes the bravest thing you can possibly do is to let go and find your next purpose.
And that brings us to one last little thought. Just like Pip, we all go through different seasons in our lives. So maybe take a quiet moment and think, what kind of change might you be facing right now? And what new adventure could be waiting for you if you just find the courage to let go and trust the dance? Thanks for sharing this story with me.